Well, a girl, when I was about 24, 25, we was 69, and she went to put a finger, and I was like, what on earth are you doing? And she went, well, I'm going to try and put a finger out. I was like, are you having a laugh? Have you seen your nails? And she had these fake nails on, and they were like that. I was like, be like razor blades.
Welcome to Under the Sheets with me, Tatiana Ashbourne, and all my friends. Laugh about it. Give it to me, baby. Learn about it. Love it or hate it. Let's do it. Under the Sheets with Tatiana Ashbourne and friends. Welcome to Under the Sheets with Tatiana Ashbourne and friends, brought to you by dirtytalk. I'm Tatiana Ashbourne, and this is my friend. This is Minty, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
No, my pleasure.
How are you feeling about it?
Yes, not too bad, actually. Yeah,
We've been wanting to do this for so long.
Yes, we have.
That I'm so pleased to finally get you in my bed.
Yes. The list was long and distinguished, but I made it. So.
Yeah. We met at the local pub.
We did, yes.
You spend a lot of time in there.
Hopefully not too much. Probably more now that I'm semi-retired than when I was working, yes.
Yeah. Still being able to pick up women like you used to, or not quite?
Oh, no, not anymore. No. Yes, it's purely a good lifestyle these days.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, very good. Okay, we're going to go straight in. What is your biggest turn-off?
I think smoking.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, if a girl smokes, that doesn't really do it for me. So I think years ago, back in the day when I've never smoked all my life, and years ago back in the day when you would come home from the pub, when you were allowed to smoke in the pubs. Yeah. And my mum would always say to me, oh, your clothes and your hair stink. I had hair in those days. Not quite a fuzzy perm, but I did have like a little bit of a gelled look. And to be honest, it was one of them where you would come home and your clothes would stink, your hair would stink, everything would stink of smoke. Yeah. And I think that you'd wake up the next morning and you'd go to, Mum, I need to just get these in the washing machine straight away. Because it all stunk. And I think that stuck by me. Yeah. I don't think I'd be one of them that, I think it would be if I was looking for a relationship with a girl and I saw that she smoked, I would probably be...
It's a deal breaker.
Yeah, definitely, for me. But
then how do you feel about men smoking? Do you still think it's a disgusting habit? Or...
Yes, personally, yeah. I've a lot of my friends smoke, and I know these days it's really funny because years ago you would walk past a group of men or a group of ladies and all you would smell is cigarette smoke. Yeah. And now you walk past a group of people and they smell like strawberry cheesecake and chocolate brownies. You know, whatever their vape happens to be. Yeah. And it's like, oh, you butch bunch, you. It's like, you know, and whereas, you know, you would walk past a group of older men when you were younger and you would almost smell the masculinity where they'd be like puffing on a Marlboro and their pint of lager in their hands, and now you've got strawberry daiquiris and chocolate brownie vapes. Yes. And so it's changed a lot. But for me, smoking, vaping's all right. I think because it's not that horrible. Yeah. A tobacco smell for me.
And so talking about flavours, have you ever used a flavoured lube?
No, I haven't. No. Years ago, a girlfriend did get from Ann Summers some lager-flavoured booby drops.
No way.
Yes, and we tried them, and they did not taste like lager. They was absolutely foul.
Are you sure it was the drops that it?
Yes, it was. And so it's not really. Not really tried any flavoured lubes at all or anything like that, but more been, we tried, definitely tried the lager flavoured booby drops and they was not happening, no. They was literally tried once, thrown in the bin. Literally, I think as we were still in bed, I think I just aimed it at the bin. Yeah. It was definitely...
Try everything once, see if you like it.
Yes. You've got to try everything, I think. There's certain things maybe you wouldn't try once, but it's...
oh, go on, give me something that you wouldn't go near.
The backside.
Really? Never?
Yes. No. no, never.
As in, you've never put your mouth to it, or you've never gone inside?
Anything.
Really?
Yeah.
But why? Why is it a big no-no?
I don't know. It's like exit only. It's always been for me. It's.
But
yeah.
so how would you feel if they go to your bum?
Well, a girl when I was about 24, 25, we was 69, and she went to put a finger, and I was like, "What on earth are you doing?" And she went, "Well, I'm going to try and put a finger out." I was like, "Are you having a laugh? Have you seen your nails?" And she had these fake nails on, and they were like that. I was like, "Be like razor blades." It was like,
that wouldn't be painful.
I was like, "No way." And she was like, "Well, just be a bit adventurous." And I went, "No, like, yeah, no. It's as simple as that." And I think that almost like scared me off then. And it was like, so yeah, I was, it was. I mean, and in all fairness, you know, after a recent health scare and having the colonoscopy, I would be a terrible gay man, in all fairness, because when we had to do the swabs for COVID, as soon as something went slightly in my mouth, I was like,
yeah.
And I was like, oh, I couldn't be a gay bloke. And then when I had the colonoscopy, I went, fair play, I'm going to shake a gay man by the hand next time I see him, because, it's not for me. I don't like anything up there, and I'll gag anything going in my mouth. So I'm quite happy with being a heterosexual man, and I don't really like any backdoor fun. So, but that's just my personal preference.
But then isn't it try everything once and then see?
Yeah, there's certain things that maybe it's it was one of them really. I didn't.
And then so how did you feel as a man to get a colonoscopy? Because it's probably quite a.
Yeah, for me, I was quite open with a lot of people and said, had a little bit of a scare. Everyone always says with anything about going to the loo or anything backside, we don't talk about it, especially blokes, we tend to like sort of clam up a bit. So I was quite open with the fact I've got to have a colonoscopy, found a bit of blood, went to the doctor straight away. It's not nice going there, but then they said, do you want gas or I'll be knocked out? And I thought, well, it's only going to be a little tiny camera like that. I'll be absolutely fine, I'll go to the loo that's bigger than that. So, it's fine. Had I seen the camera beforehand, I'd have been knocked out. But once I saw it after, I was like, it was horrendous. He was like, draw your knees up to your chest. And when he started putting in, I went, all right, mate. I said, what are you trying to do? Find your watch in there or something? I was like, I thought he was going for a lucky dip. Because at first he said, I just got to put a couple of fingers in just to check that nothing's blocking it. I went, mate, you've got big fingers. I said, they're like bunches of bananas. I said, like, I was not impressed in the slightest. I was like, I hope the camera's a bit smaller than your fingers. And he was, it'd be absolutely fine. And then as they're going around, because they go up and around and then right the way around and down the other side, and they blow air in to get it round. And he was like, have you had any stomach trauma? Because you've got quite a bendy bowel. And I'm like, whoa, isn't that? You're the first person to go up there. I said, and you haven't even taken me for dinner. I said, because a doctor did check once for my prostate. I said, and, I expected her to at least text me after or email me, but nothing. She just literally blanked me after that. And, so it was a little bit rude, but there you go. So,
wow.
And as I left, because he said, when I walked in, he said, oh, my name's Stephen, funny enough. I was like, yeah, well, what difference does that make, mate? It's got the same, you're just about rummaging around in my backside. And I said, no one's ever done that, just to let you know, you're the first. And so I make humour out of everything. So as I was walking out, I went, Steve, call me. Cheers. As I was being taken out on the bed out of the theatre. So, I think, for me, it's sort of, humour's always been a part of my life.
Where do you think that's come from?
I think always, a lot of people, if they're nervous, they clam up. A lot of people talk a lot if they're nervous, whereas I've always made light of things, and I've always thought of myself as a bit of a comedian. It's always been one of them where I've actually said, oh, do you know what, I'll just make light of that. And probably there's been a few there's been a few situations where I've said things and I've realised it's made everyone else laugh, but it hasn't quite made the person laugh, and it hasn't quite had the desired effect. But I always think humour has to be, you know, you could say a joke and it would be the most placid joke going, but it's always going to offend someone.
Yeah.
So you are always going to offend someone with your humour.
Yeah.
But it's trying not to be nasty about that, how you're offending people. You know, everyone, you have to have humour in life. You know, people have to laugh. And so as long as you're not being derogatory about the person or anything like that, you know, you can still laugh and get away with it.
Yes, yeah, no, definitely.
And I think a bit of laughter in the, you know, the bedroom is like, you know, there's a lot of people that are really serious. When they jump into bed, they go, right, OK, we have to do our push-ups, 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, and roll off, and that's it, all done. You know, whereas if you can go to the girlfriend, right, coming in, swing from the chandelier by your toenails, and I'll be waiting here in a full gimp mask, you know, and you can have a bit of a laugh, you know. Yeah. It's talking to each other during sex as well. It's like, no, not quite. Christ, your teeth are like cheese grater, you know. Just like, go a bit less, babe. And like, you know, it's throughout life you've got to like, oh, babe, yeah, not 3 fingers, only 2. Okay, you've got big hands, you know. And it's being honest with each other and talking.
Yeah, no, definitely.
If you talk during sex, you get a better sex life. You get to know. If you just put up with, what you've got, and maybe you're not enjoying it, then you just go, oh yeah. Is that the one position we do all the time? Yeah. And you go to try something, she goes, oh, no, not really. And okay, right, okay, we won't do that then, we won't do this. And so, yeah, I think to get a good sex life is healthy for a relationship. Because, and if you can laugh in bed as well, where they go, what are you doing now? And you're like, sorry, did you not like that? No. Babe, did you just eat onions before we come to bed? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, look that way whilst you're kissing me. Like, trying to kiss. Don't kiss me tonight. Just do whatever else you have to do. Just don't get, you know. And having a laugh like that. I think, you know, you've got to bring the humour into it so it's not so serious. And then I think you then become more relaxed with each other and you get more enjoyment out of each other.
And so has there been a really awkward moment that you can think of that's a good story?
Possibly, yeah. When I was young and early 20s, and my mum and dad had been on holiday, and my mum and dad were away, and I brought my girlfriend back to the house, and we were a little bit desperate to get into the bedroom, and she had a dress on, and it was like, listen, I'm not even pulling your knickers down, I'm just pushing them to one side. And I remember it was in the dark, and all of a sudden I thought, oh, that was a bit painful, and I just thought nothing of it. And then afterwards, like in early 20s, it's not the greatest sex life. It's like, it was just, I turned the light on and I went, oh, there's a bit of blood. And I was like, sorry, babe, I think I've made you bleed. I went, might have been a bit big for you. I was like, no, it's not me bleeding. And I went, what? And I looked out, I went, oh my God, it's me. And bearing in mind it was about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, and obviously, as they call the banjo string down the back, had rubbed against her knicker elastic and literally caused it to cut across it. And it was just pumping out blood. And
oh my goodness.
So I was like, I'm in proper trouble here. And I'm like holding it. I say holding it. Yeah, I'm holding it. Yeah. I said to her, be a clockmaker because you'll need 2 hands on this. And so I said, I'm holding it. And she's gone, well, what are we going to do? I said, it'll stop bleeding in a minute. And in those days, you had no internet to look at, like, what happens if your banjo string snaps or whatever. And it's like, right, OK, what are we going to do? And I was like, stop bleeding in a minute, half hour, and it was still literally pumping blood out. And I went, we're going to have to go to the hospital. And she was like, right, Bromley Hospital, here we go. So jumped in the car and I put padding around it and jumped in, like toilet paper around it, and jumped in the car. And I'm walking in and...
Imagine if the police stopped you.
I don't. And I walked in and the woman on reception went, oh, so can I help you? I went, yeah, I've cut my penis. She was like, sorry? I was like, cut my penis. You've cut your penis. And like, 2 o'clock on a Sunday morning in the middle of Bromley Hospital, and it's full of blokes with like eyes out here and like head wounds, and where there's all the fights been glassed and knifed, and there's me going, oh, I've got a cut penis, and she's gone, oh yeah, you cut your penis, yeah, thanks, and they're all laughing over there now. So we've sat down and literally straight away come in and took me into this room. Nurse went, can I have a look at it? And I'm like, yeah. So down with the boxes, and she's unwrapped it, and she's gone, right, okay, yeah, we can do it. Hold on 2 seconds, and she's holding it like this, and I think it goes back to sort of almost like Carry On films. There's a nurse holding your man, and you're like, right, okay, it's quite exciting, really. Babe, just remember what they're dressed up as, if you could do that one day. And then all of a sudden she's walked out and she's come back in with another nurse. And my girlfriend at the time got the right hump. She went, is there any more nurses going to come in and have a look at your dick?
No way.
I'm not complaining, in all fairness. I've got these 2 nurses, one's holding it and the other's wiping it and washing it. And I'm like, what, am I dead? Is this like, am I dreaming? So yeah, it was...
So that's your new sexual fantasy?
Yeah, so it was... So what happened was they just said, oh, you know, we're bandage it up, obviously, but not so that it's covering the top, because otherwise you won't be able to go to the loo. But just be careful. And but like it definitely works on your foreplay, because after that you don't go in dry ever again. You make sure it's like a tsunami down there before you're even going in, and you're making sure Niagara Falls is a major place, because because it's literally one of them. You're like, yeah, I've got to be really careful, and you're like trying to pull the foreskin over the top, so when you go in and then you're like, so this is an artwork, and she's going, what are you doing? It's like, listen, I'm just making sure I'm safe again. I don't want to bleed again. So yeah, wow. So that.
And then how long after that would you have sex again?
Well, it was probably about a week after. It was,
okay.
So it wasn't too bad. We just had to be very careful.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And we've spoken about it before, but you love going down on a woman.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, very much so. It's, I think it's like, it's all about pleasuring each other. But, very much so. I think, oral sex is like a great part of the sex life. And I think that a lot of people overlook the foreplay side of things, because I think foreplay is a massive part of sex, and I think that you have to definitely, you're just going to go jump straight in, have a quick bang, as they say, and then roll off again. It's like, and the girl's going, that wasn't much, was it? Yeah. Because, some women have an orgasm during sex, some women have it during foreplay. Some can't have it during sex. It's like, and some can only during the foreplay. So if they can only have an orgasm during the foreplay, then, and you're just having sex, then that's not very exciting for them. So I think the other thing was about talking to them. Yeah. And that's a lot of it. Communicating. Communication is a massive thing, especially with regards to your sex life and basically a relationship. If you don't talk about things, then they then get hidden away. And then it all boils up, and it's lots of little things then boil up into this massive thing. And you find out you're having the biggest argument going, and it all boiled down to the fact that you left the toilet seat up. Or you didn't give her oral sex the night before. And it's.
But do you think make-up sex is the best form of sex?
Make-up sex is definitely good, yeah. In fact, sometimes the girl can even still be mad at you, but still want make-up sex, and they're still actually mad at you. Yeah. So yeah.
And so what's your technique for going down on a woman?
I think you've just got to do everything that you can, really. I mean, a lot of the kissing of the thighs, and obviously around the clitoris, and then just bury your tongue straight in there.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah, bury it. That's like. Get your nose in there, your tongue in there, everything. It's like, just do as much as you possibly can. Yeah. And I think licking the clit whilst you finger fuck as well is always a good one.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. I think it's it's all about and you're asking them what works for them, because you can try all these things and then afterwards, if you go, is that all right? And she goes, yeah, all right, but okay, what do you like?
Yeah.
And then she goes, well, actually, if you'd have done it that way, right, okay, next time I know.
Well, you sound like a very educated man.
No, I think it's just through trial and error, really.
Yeah.
I just think a lot of it is through trial and error of just trying. And you go, like I say, if you talk to your partner and you say to her, what do you like? And they go, oh, you know, they might like a bit of bum fun. And then you go, oh, all right, we'll have to talk about that because I've never done it before, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying... I don't know. I'm not saying I'll never be like for it, but you
Sounds
know.
like you're pretty keen because we're talking again about.
Yeah, no, yeah. So yeah, it's yeah.
You can't stop bringing it up.
No, yeah. It's like it's one of them that you just go. If she came to you and said, yeah. So it's one of them where if she came to you and said that, but you talk to them and say, what do you like? You know, there might be girls that go, oh no, I don't like oral sex, or oh, I prefer kissing, or some that say I don't like the kissing, I prefer to get straight into this. And and then sometimes it is just purely about we've got 5 minutes before we leave, let's have some fun.
Yeah.
And it's just a quick wham bam, thank you ma'am. You know, and it's a quick one, but it's a fantastic quick one. You know, you've got 5 minutes before you go out, come on, I fancy the tits off you, so let's have a quick one. Like bending you over that sofa and that's it, we're going. And that's it. You know, you've got to, sometimes it's orchestrated and it's, you know, it's over a period of time. I say period of time like I'm stinging to tantric sex and it lasts 8 hours, you know. 8 minutes is a long time. No, I'm joking. Sometimes it's orchestrated and it's over a period of time and you get to do lots of things, and sometimes it's do you know what, let's just get it, let's just have a quickie. Yeah. And sometimes the quickies can be just as good as the orchestrated ones that are over where you're doing everything. You know, sometimes you can have an afternoon of or morning of fun in the bedroom, and sometimes it's just a quick one. So it's really what you've got time for.
Yes, no, I agree. Hey, you sexy bunch. Thank you so much for your continued support on the Under the Sheets podcast. Did you know that only 10% of viewers actually subscribe to the show? It would be amazing if you could subscribe and do your thing, share it, to get the message out there and to educate more people. Thank you so much. Enjoy the show and keep talking dirty. Big love. And you bought an item from your bedroom that makes your bedroom your bedroom.
Yeah, this isn't a dressing up thing.
Can I have a look, please?
Yes. This is, when I retired from the fire brigade, I got my fire helmet.
So is this bigger than your helmet?
Yeah. There's not many women that have had their hands all over my helmet, so... and it's a nice shiny one as well.
This is amazing. And so you were part of the fire service for how many years?
32 years.
Wow.
So, and I finished up as a station manager. So
yeah. Now, have you ever dressed up in the outfit for a woman?
Believe it or not, no.
No.
No, I've never worn the kit in the bedroom.
Oh my goodness.
And I think it's because a lot of people go, oh, you know, and it, you know, back in the younger days, we go, oh, did you bring that uniform home? It's like, well, yeah, of course it's at home. And I go, but no, I've never actually worn it in the bedroom. And, you know, don't get me wrong, I've not done a Rodney and done a gladiator, like dressed up as a gladiator in the bedroom either. I don't know, maybe I've been selfish in that department. I've never really come in my mankini or anything like that and done the dressing up. If anything, I've always said to, like the girls always said, do you want me to dress up or something like that? Yeah. You know, stocking suspenders and that sort of gear, or, you know, a nurse's outfit or maid's out, you know, that sort of thing. I've never actually done the dressing up. Maybe that's been a bit selfish of me. Maybe they've wanted me to dress up in that.
I know.
I mean, you know, there's the fantasy of a fireman, and they look like the fireman's calendar, and there's the reality. And we don't quite look like the fireman's calendar. And me walking out in my uniform wasn't quite the fireman's calendar. We would go, oh yeah, they see him like, they go, oh, fire engines turned up, look, all these hunky firemen are going to get off, and then we all got out and we were like, oh, oh, I'm a little bit disappointed now. You're not all like the calendar, are you? No, reality. Seriously. Yeah. This is.
And so they talk about that there's a lot of toxic masculinity within the in construction. Would you say there's a lot in the fire department with being with other men and discussing sex and relationships with the men in the fire department? Or, I mean, probably now there's more women involved.
Yes, there is. In the fire service, just before I left, my second in command was a woman. We had a couple of women on our watch, and they would actually mess around and one of the girls would walk in and go, oh, don't worry, I've got a bigger cock than all you lot anyway. And, mess around like that. It was, I think, as long as there is banter, but as long as it didn't extend to sexism, racism, that sort of thing, then, we would let quite a few things go.
Yeah.
And the girls would be a big part of that banter as well. I remember the first girl on my watch, I actually said to her, no, we can't call you that name. We've never had a girl on our watch before. You'll have to be Gary. And from Team America. Because it was like, that's some Top Gun work, Gary, now. And so that's what we did. Like, and I think she's still in my phone as Gary. And I actually
a booty caller.
I actually put her on my phone as Gary. And when it was her birthday on Facebook, and I wished her happy birthday, and I wished her by her name, and she went, what happened to Gary? And I went, oh yeah, sorry, happy birthday, Gary. So
that's great.
Yeah, so wow. It was there was very much that we were a big family.
Yeah. On
the watch, we would always look after, and you spend more time with those people than you do with your own family. So there was a lot of people on my watch. Someone would say, oh, where's so and so gone? And you would go, what's the time? Oh yeah, they're in the toilet. And what? They're in the toilet. What do you mean they're having a poo? What do you mean? Well, at this time every morning they have a poo. And you know that? Well, yeah. Just like you know your own family. Like your son would get up and go straight into loo as soon as he got up. Like, whereas your daughter might actually wait till midday before she went. And you would know those things, but you knew it more because, you spent sometimes 12, 14 hours with these people a day.
Yeah.
So you spent more time with them, so they were a family. And if there was a problem with them at home, you would see it when they walked through the door. You would go, you all right? Yeah, problem at home? And they would go, yeah. Do you want to talk about it? Not yet. Okay, come and see me when you want to talk about it. We had one guy, and I know you won't mind me saying this. We had one guy, I won't say his name, but he was with his partner, and they bought a running machine for the house. And we never had a running machine at the fire station at the time. It was many years, 20 odd years ago. And we didn't have a running machine. And he came in one day and he said, just to let you know, Gov, he said, can I have a quick word? And I went, yeah, no worries. And he said, just to let you know, he said, me and the missus are getting a divorce. And I went, oh, that's terrible. And he said, yeah. He said, bit upset about it, all right. I went, can we have your running machine? And he went, what? I went, oh, I'm just saying, if you're splitting up, then can we have the running machine? He went, Gov, I'm splitting up. Like, he said, that's a bit heartless. And I went, sorry. Yeah, I said, don't worry about it. And I'm thinking, back of my mind. So I said, anyway, let's get the second in command in here and tell him, and then we'd work out how we're going to tell everyone else. Yeah. Okay. So second in command comes in. He went, just to let you know, he said, me and my wife are getting divorced. And he went, oh, it's terrible news. He went, yeah. He went, can we have your running machine? And he was like, what? And he went, can we have your running machine? He went, he just asked that. And he went, well, we haven't got a running machine here. So anyway, we all spoke. And we said, right, we're going to have a cup of tea in the rest room, and you can tell everyone then. And he got everyone round, and we had everyone coming here. And this guy turned around, he went, just to let you know, he said, me and the missus are getting divorced. And I went, sorry to hear that, mate. Yeah, really sorry. About three of them all went, can we have your running machine? He went, that's it, forget it, and went walking out the room. He went, you lot are just heartless bastards.
Oh,
he went,
my goodness.
He walked out the room, and he come back and he went, only you lot made it actually better than I thought it was going to be. He said, I thought it was going to be, I'll be cut up and everything. He said, but you lot have made it better for me. And just that's how we dealt with things. It was a case of, right, yeah.
And so tell me about dating in the 80s and how that was growing up, because it's very different to how it is now, obviously with social media and with online dating. How was it for you? What's your best pickup line in a pub?
Oh, yeah. Eyes are like spanners. Every time I see them, they make my nuts tighten.
You know what? I've actually never heard that one before.
Got any South London in you? No? Do you want some? None of them actually worked, but yeah, it's no. Do you know what? It was one of them. It was so different because these days you've got so much information at the touch of your hand. You know, in the palm of your hand, you've got all this that will tell you everything you need to know. Whereas we was trial and error. I remember when I was about 13 and one of my mates coming back to me, he went, "I've just fingered a girl." And I went, "What?" And he went, "That girl that I'm going out with, I just fingered her." I went, "Serious?" And he went, "Yeah." I went, "Show me your finger." And he was like, "Why?" I went, "Just show me." And I was like, "Oh, it doesn't leave a stain up it or anything." And he was like, "Oh, does it?" And I went, "Well, I don't know, but you didn't know." I actually thought it would be like... I actually thought it'd be like nicotine, like when people that smoked and it left a bit of a stain. Because
so good.
I was 12 or 13, I'd like, yeah. I mean...
12 or 13, I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, 12 or 13, and you're like, your mate's going, "Yeah, I fingered a bird." And I'm like, "Well, did it leave a stain?" Because, yeah, it was just, you didn't know what happened when you put it inside a girl. It was just like, what happens after that? And I remember him going, "No. Well, it smells a bit, but I'm not..." And I'm like, "I don't want to, like..." Yeah. And it was just one of them where it was...
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was just you didn't have any of this information. So you stood there and then you were like, "Oh, it's all right though." And you go, "Yeah, it was all right." And it was just one of them where if you wanted to go out with a girl and that you wouldn't know anything about them now, if you see a girl you like... You can trawl their Facebook or their Instagram. You can probably find out all their exact measurements, where they went on holiday, what they look like in a bikini, before you even tried it. Whereas it was all trial and error. You're standing in a pub with all your mates, and one of your mates goes, "A girl keeps looking over at you." "Really, does she?" "Yeah." "Oh, right, okay. Which one? One with dark hair or the blonde hair?" "One with the dark hair." "Oh, I fancied the blonde hair one." "Oh, well. Dark hair one to do." And it's like, in those days, listen, it was so it was...
Do you think it's changed in a good way, some of it, or not? Or do you think you wish it was back to where it is?
No, I mean, the internet has helped amazingly, and with the production of medicine and everything else that has come through, I think that's all really good, but... What I don't think it's helped with is communication amongst people. Yeah. Because now, I mean, you send a text to someone and it could be read in 6 or 7 different ways.
Yes. Yeah.
And I always say to people, when I send a text to you, if you read it in 2 ways and there's a good way and a bad way, read it in the good way unless I tell you otherwise. Yeah. Okay? Because, that you can't get a reaction over text, whereas it used to be face-to-face. Yeah. Unless... You would have the phone call, but you could only ring a home phone. So if you said you were meeting your mates down the pub, if they didn't turn up at 8 o'clock and it got to 8:15, you could either ring their house from the payphone in the pub, and their mum would go, "Oh, they've only just left, so they're going to be about 10 minutes now." "Oh, okay." Or so if you went to go out on a date with a girl and she said, "I'll meet you in the pub at 8," if she wasn't there, then you had no way. And if her parents weren't home, then you had no way of like knowing if she was coming to meet you, if she wasn't coming to meet you. Then it was a simple one like that, really. So it was always one of them where you just sort of went, "Oh, okay, I've got to actually talk to someone and approach them." You had to walk up to a girl and go, "You all right? Do you fancy a drink?" And they would go either, "Yeah, I'd love a drink, cheers. I'll have a baby sham, or I'll have a Ginzano lemonade," or whatever it was, back in the day. Whereas Or they would turn around to you and go, "Fuck off, you idiot." And
did that happen more than the others?
Yes, yeah, yeah. Listen, I worked out that there was a 10% chance of getting accepted. So if I asked 10 women, then I knew one of them was going to say yes. So over a night. So yeah, it's so the 90% chance of rejection. So hopefully, I found the one that said yes early on in a night. No, it was one of them where you walked into a pub, and it's a group of girls, and if you were single, you sort of like, yeah, do you reckon I like them? Someone go, oh no, I heard she went out with so-and-so. Oh right, okay. Or your sister would work somewhere, and you'd meet one of her mates, and she'd go, oh God, and your sister would go, oh, don't go out with one of my mates, please. And it's like, why not? Because it's you're my brother, and I'm still friends with her, and if you and her split up, then it's going to make it awkward for her coming around the house. Okay then, yeah, I'll get your point, sis. And so, it was very much one of them that you had to communicate with people, you had to talk to people, you very much had to have the balls to go up and say to someone, do you fancy going out for a drink? And sometimes girls did it to you. Sometimes you'd be in a pub and a girl would come up and go, all right, how are you? And you're like, yeah, not too bad, how are you? Yeah, not too bad, do you fancy a drink? Yeah, go on in. And the lads go, you're in there, son. Like, yeah, right result, she's come up and asked you for a drink. And so it was, and then you'd appear down the pub together, and then you'd all go out as a group normally. So you and all your mates would go out with your other halves, and I remember that when we used to play football or watch football on a Saturday, all the lads would go to the pub straight after the football, and we'd get in there about 6 or 7 o'clock, and then all the girls would turn up about 8 o'clock because you'd rung them and said, just letting you know I'm in the pub now. And they go, all right, I'm just finishing off getting ready, like my wet look perm and everything that was around in the 80s. And you'd say, yeah, all right then. And they'd turn up at the pub. And you didn't know when they were turning up at the pub. They would just turn up because you had no idea. Now you get a text 5 minutes away, 2 minutes away, 1 minute away. I'm walking through the door. And, in those days, it was just, oh, your missus turned up. Oh, is she? Oh, right, where is she?
It's, I've tracked you and you're at the pub.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, exactly. Before, it was like, a woman would come, you'd be in there with all your mates, and one of their wives would come walking in with a Sunday dinner and go, there's your fucking dinner. Have it here. You want to spend more time here than you do with me at home. And walk out, and you'd go, oh, I couldn't nick a tater. That's my dinner, mate. It's
definitely.
Very much so. It's
And really quickly, before we have to move on, you have had previous partners and you've had children with multiple partners. But you live a really interesting life, and I'm fascinated by it, that you have such an amazing relationship with your past partners and your children. And how have you managed that? I know you talk about that you don't want any what's the word? Aminosity?
Animosity. Yeah, that's right.
Can you quickly tell me a bit how you've come into that?
Yeah,
how you think that? Because a lot of people don't. They're angry at their other partners.
Yeah, for me, it was always so I've had children with one person, which was my ex-wife, and we've got 3 children, and then obviously I've got 2 stepchildren as well. So, and I still get on with both of them. Still talk to them in a regular way, and I think it's all about making sure what's right for the children. Because I know that when my son got married, and him and his wife got married, at the wedding, there was me and my ex-wife on the top table, and there was our 2 partners sitting together on another table. Wow. And in the morning, we stayed there and we came down, and I sat with my current partner talking to my ex-mother and father-in-law. Yeah. And I spoke to them, and we sat there talking to them. And it's all about making what's easier for the kids, and the kids love it because they haven't got to go, right, if I have dad round this weekend, I can't have mum round because they don't talk. Yeah. And then mum's partner doesn't get on with dad, and dad's partner doesn't get on with mum, and all that. It's actually ridiculous. Just for your children, just put don't give all the butch and the stuff of, I'll do it my way and everything. Just do it for the kids' way. Just do it what makes it I know when I went down to, just before my son moved to Australia, my ex-wife said to me, we're going to have a big meal down here with all of my family. You're more than welcome to come down. And I went, yeah, I will. Brilliant. And I was due to stay on my daughter's sofa.
Yeah.
And my ex-wife said, oh, my sister said that you can stay around her house because she's got a spare room.
Wow.
And I went, brilliant, fantastic. And it was really weird because we were down there and myself and my ex-wife were sat together at the table because her partner, her husband, couldn't make it because he was working that evening and they was doing it another time. They was all going to have a big meal. And so I sat with my ex-wife and my children, and my daughter said, I find it really funny because I was really young when you two broke up. And so I've never seen you together. The two boys have seen you sat together.
Yeah.
And my ex-mother-in-law said, looking across, she went, seeing you two together was really weird because I haven't seen that for years.
Yeah.
And then she said, and you were with that daughter and now you're going home to spend the night with that daughter in separate rooms. I know, but it's... And I said, yeah, but we all get on like that, you know? And I think for the sake of your children will live a much better life.
Yeah.
And will be a lot happier if they don't have to worry about how the parents get on.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, with my stepchildren and that, I still get on with their mum really well, and we will still see each other in the street, still chat and, how are you? You know, how's everything? Yeah, not too bad. And anything to do with the stepchildren, she will let me know.
Yeah.
So... yeah, although I don't call them stepchildren, like they're my children. You know, you've got there's no step, there's no half, it's just family.
Yeah.
And I treat them all the same, and so I think that's, as long as you make it right for the kids.
Yeah.
Then when they're growing up, they haven't got to worry about things. If you start to make things for them to worry about, then, you know, problems for them to worry about, then that's gonna create more in their life. Yeah. And they're going to start having to think about things with regards to...
Or start resenting you guys as well.
Yeah, and go, oh my God, when we get married, there's going to be a problem. Why is that? Because he doesn't talk to her. Yeah. You know, mum and dad don't talk. Yeah. And then, especially dad's new missus and mum's new fella, they don't like, and there's going to be an argument at some point. Whereas if you can just go, all right, how you like? Yeah, we're fine. Yeah. You know, I've always been like that. Let's just all get on, and for the sake of things, let's That's amazing. Let's all get on, and thankfully we do. Touch wood, we all do. So.
Yeah, well, I think that's very admirable. That's very good. You've done very well. We're going to go to audience questions now.
Okay.
And so we've had some write-ins.
Oh dear me. Not people that know me.
Would you prefer a 10 out of 10 who smoked or a 1 out of 10 who doesn't?
Oh. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. I don't know. For me, it's when you say 10 out of 10 or 1 out of 10, I think personality and looks is massive because, looks, they don't have to be... a 10 out of 10, I'm not a 10. So, I want to say I attract a 10 as well. Like, and I maybe, I like to say I'm a 6. It's, no, do you know what? It's, I go for personality, looks, don't get me wrong. Looks is obviously a major thing, and I don't know. I wouldn't want them to smoke. So that's really difficult. Can I go for a 5 that occasionally has
socially,
a
socially smokes.
That only socially smokes when they're not with me.
Yeah. But there we go. Hairy or clean shaven?
Clean shaven. Yeah. I mean,
is that why you've done what you've done to your head?
Yes, very much. I don't want Velcro. It's
Velcro.
I don't want a goatee and then get down and I can't get my up, I can't move because definitely clean shaven.
Presumably, as a firefighter, you've had a woman try to throw themselves at you during emergencies. Can you remember any specific circumstances, and were you ever tempted?
We had a call to an incident in a village where the girl had got stuck in her front room, and her child was upstairs, and she said, I can't actually get out because the kitchen door was pushing against it like that. She said, I can't get out. And she had a pole in her front room, and she was a pole dancer, and she had been practicing, and I think it was all a bit of a story to have a fire engine full of firefighters turn up, because when we turned up, we were like, is your back door open? I'm not really sure. It's going back to there again, isn't it? It's like,
He keeps going
right behind me. Maybe I should just try it once. Hello, babe. Guess what? Maybe, and we turned up, and she was like, all right, did you... He wasn't really worried about her child being asleep upstairs and us going to save the child, because one of the lads just walked round the corner and went, your back door's open, so we've gone in and gone up that way, and now we've released this bit. She went, oh yeah, why didn't I think of that? But she was in a little cropped, she was in very revealing clothing, and she went, I was practising my pole dancing, and she went, I'm a pole dancer at one of the top clubs up London. I was like, oh right, okay. And she was like, anyway, what's your guys' names? And it's like, do you fancy a beer? It's like, no, we're on duty. Thanks. Right, everyone back in the truck. One of the lads is going, but listen, if you want to get her details, you do it. But yeah, let's get away. So, yeah, I think, again, it's reality and fantasy. What the girls think is turning up in a fire truck, and what actually turns up is
Perfect. And last question, does anal porn turn you on even if you don't want to partake in the act?
No. No.
Not at all?
No, I think, I think it's the old adage of, I think if you said to any bloke, what sort of porn really turns you on, and they go, lesbian massage. Like, it's like, it's like, we used to have a bit of a joke at work, and it was always like, oh yeah, two girls at once, and then one of the females would go, so what if I had two blokes on, and everyone would go, and it's like, well, you think that two girls is acceptable, but we're not allowed to watch it. Well, no. And it's like, well, what's the and they would bring sort of they would even it out. So, so very much so for that sort of thing. It was but yeah, it was always like, I don't know, it just never really turned me on. It's so I've never really sort of
Now you're thinking about it.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking of.
You need to get home quickly.
There's the one. I think as we used to joke at work, the only one that no one ever ticked off was disabled midget clown porn, and I don't know if there is anything like that, but it was always a running joke. It's like you have to clear your phone for. I don't know if you can say that. Everyone will be looking up disabled midget clown porn now.
Well, on that note, we're going to call it. But I've got a gift for you coming on the show.
Oh, thank you.
And it's actually quite apt. Because, in my opinion, real men eat arse.
Oh, sure. Thank you.
This is Minty, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely brilliant.
That's so good. Yeah. That's so funny.
Real men eat arse. Gonna have to go into the guilt room now. Listen, babe. What?
Well done.
Thank
Great. You. If you want to be part of the show, whether it's on bed or as an audience member, please go to www.dirtytalkofficial.com and click Get Involved. Can't wait to see ya. Laugh about it. Give it to me, baby. Learn about it. Love it or hate it. Let's do it. Under the Sheets with Tatiana Ashbourne and friends.